What's going on, guys? You're watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and in today's show, we're going to break down the latest New York Football Giants news and rumors. Should the Giants go out and sign JC Tretter, the former Cleveland Brown interior offensive lineman, the center? There's been a lot of rumors around it. A lot of different publications, including Giants media outlets, have talked about signing Tretter, possibly the best free agent left on the market on the offensive line. And then we're going to talk about Saquon Barkley and a potential bounce-back season with the new offensive line in front of him and possibly the best offensive line he's run behind. Could he be poised to have a bounce-back season and be the player we thought he would be as the number 2 selection out of Penn State? But first, let's let the audience build up and let's get the comment section flowing. One of my favorite things about Chat Sports is we have viewers all over the globe from coast to coast. So get in the comment section and shout out your city for me. I'll be giving a shout out to everybody that does. We are hailing from Dallas, Texas, the Chat Sports studios. I'm excited to do today's show. We haven't got you guys videos in the past 2 days, and that's on me. I've been a little bit under the weather, so I apologize from that, but, I had to fight back, get back in the studio today to get you guys a live show and get you guys some Giants content. Because that's what it's all about here, getting you guys letting you guys stay up to date on the latest Giants news and rumors. But let me know where you guys are watching from. Shout out your city in the comments section. While you guys are doing that, I'll make sure to give you guys some shout outs. I know we have people watching from all over. Kaylee says he won't sign with us. Lions Talk with Micro Mike says the best Giants channel, period. That's a fact, just like you run the best Lions channel. What's going on, my guy? Wolf Z, what's going on, bro? He's from Linden, New Jersey. Nikki's from Puerto Rico. Ricky, he's from New Jersey. A-List the Boss from Tampa, Florida. Kaylee from Mississippi. Lions Talk with Micro Mike from Land of the Dutch. Karen's from Long Island. What up? Anthony Raza from Rhode Island. What's going on, my guy? Dustin says, I was just in Holland last week. That's what's up. He's from upstate New York. Alfredo says he's watching from Spring, Texas. Spring, Texas. I'm from Richmond, Texas. What's going on, my guy? Michael Kraus, South Florida, Wolf Z. My guy, one of the most faithful people we got here. Bracken's from North Korea. That's what's up. Alex from the UK. Dean's from Florida. Zern Blocks is from NY City. Sean is repping from the 6, Toronto. Air Force Ups 1 is from East New York, Brooklyn. Andre is from Jersey City. And Dustin is from Sherborne. Coach Eddie, he says, what up? He's from West Orange, New Jersey, my guy. Hope you're doing well. Bernard from Charlotte. And then we got L.O. from Lionel from New Jersey. What's going on, guys? I appreciate everybody for tapping in and clicking on today's video. I got a question for you all, though. We've talked a lot about Eli Manning versus Lawrence Taylor. You guys all let me know. We had about 1,000 votes on that poll, and I'd say about 990 of them came in for Lawrence Taylor as the Giants' GOAT, and that's fair. That's probably the truth. I didn't say Eli was my GOAT. I know Lawrence Taylor is the GOAT of the Giants, but I want to know, who is your favorite Giant of all time? And you can't say LT and you can't say Eli Manning. So go and dig a little bit deeper. Think a little bit harder. Give me a name, your favorite Giant of all time. I don't want to hear Lawrence Taylor. I don't want to hear Eli Manning. I want to hear, be a little bit creative. Do a little bit of hard thinking because it's easy to say 56 or number 10. Wolf Z and Bernard, they're already saying LT. I mean, you can do that as well, but, it's not the name of the game. But, look, I make the rules, but you guys don't have to follow them. Zern Blocks, he's not paying attention either. He says Eli. Bernard says Carl Banks. Okay, Zern Blocks, you're understanding now. Anthony Raza says Homer Jones. Kaylee Lockhart says Dave Gettleman. That's brutal. Alex Roberts says Victor Cruz. I love me some Victor Cruz. A little salsa. I like it. J Sports Card says Michael Strahan. I think Strahan's probably my favorite Giant of all time outside of LT or Eli. An undercover Giant that I like a lot is Hakeem Nicks. His career got cut really short, but that 2011 playoff run he had was one of the most special postseason runs you'll see from a New York Giant or a receiver of all time, and my producer, Matthew Peterson, will like this. The Hail Mary he caught against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field was just absolutely spectacular. One of my favorite moments as a Giants fan. FGB, F the Green Bay Packers, F Aaron Rodgers, and of course, F Brett Favre. Nikki says JPP. I love me some Jason Pierre-Paul. One of my favorite JPP moments, I was actually at the game, was the Cowboys versus the Giants at Dallas, the year of the Super Bowl. JPP blocked the game-winning field goal at regulation, sent the game into overtime. Anthony Raza says Brandon Jacobs. Dean says Sehorn. Jason Sehorn, what a legend. Probably the last white corner you'll see in the NFL. A-List the Boss says Jesse Armstead. Robert Troy says LT. That's cool. Noah says Nick Gates. Antonio Pierce from If You Know, You Know. AP was a dog. Dave Meggett from Air Force Ups. Jeremy Shockey. My dog's name was Shockey after Jeremy Shockey. He's a legend. Love me some Jeremy. Not Jeremy Bleeds out there, but Jeremy Shockey. Gettleman Thaking says Bradshaw Ahmad. Yes, I know who he is. Mark Bavaro from Michael. And Stephen Baker, the TD maker from Ricky Ricardo. What about this question, though? Of all the teams in the NFC East, which one do you hate the most? Is it the Cowboys? Is it the Commanders? Is it the Eagles? Let me know in the comments section. Type DAL for the Cowboys, WAS for Washington, or PHI for Eagles as I sip my drink right here. Andre's still typing a lot of you guys. I like that. He said Kayvon Thibodeau. I like that. He might be a lot of people's favorite Giant after his career. I think he's really going to be special. Jeremy Chug says, hey, Marshy, I heard you love me. I do, Jeremy. I love you very much. There's a lot of Eagles and Dallas coming in the comment section. I'm about 50-50. I hate the Eagles just as much as I hate the Cowboys. I really don't care for Washington. During my lifetime, they've really been irrelevant, the bottom feeders of the NFC East. So I don't have really strong feelings about them. But for sure, it's between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Keep getting your votes in. I like seeing what you guys think on that one. Also, give me a follow on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to get to 13.5 thousand followers on today's show. We're about 31 away. Is that right? Check my math. Yeah, 31 followers away. I think we can get there today. The link to my Twitter will be in the chat. Shout out to Will Scott. He's running the chat today. He's a real one. My H-Town homie. Shout out to him. Everybody that follows me on today's show, I'll give you a verbal shout out and I'll give you a follow back. I'm trying to up my Twitter followers, but I also want to follow more Giants fans. So hit me up over there at @MarshallGreen_. Coming up later in today's show, we're also going to go 2 mailbags where I answer your guys' questions. And if you want to be featured on the show, if you want your questions on air, you get your picture on screen, get your profile name on screen. Make sure to use hashtag Giants in your question. And what I mean by that is ask a question. Like, Marshall, what'd you have for breakfast today? Just put hashtag Giants somewhere in there so our software can read that question and it'll spit it out and put it up on the screen so we can make you a part of the show. Look, that's what we thrive off here at Giants Now by Chat Sports is audience interaction. We like to make you guys a part of the show as much as we are, and one of the ways we do that is by mailbags and Q&As and letting you guys be a part of the show and getting you up on screen. So if you want your question answered in today's show, make sure you use hashtag Giants in the comment section right now. But look, if you're ready to start the show, go down right now and like this video. Look, I'm ready to talk about the latest Giants news and rumors. Saquon Barkley, JC Tretter, mailbags. We'll do a little bit of an OTA recap, talk about some players that have looked good. Daniel Bellinger has looked good. Darnay Holmes has looked good. We're going to break all that down and talk about it. Just go down right now and like the video. Look, we got 77 people watching, 15 likes. Those are rookie numbers. Get your numbers up, fellas. Like the video right now if you're ready for the real show to start as I sip my drink. Look, I've been sick the last couple of days, but that's not going to stop me from getting you guys content. Look, I made a promise. I'd get you guys video every day. Didn't happen the last 2 days. I lied, but I'm back today making sure we can get you guys a video. Alrighty, in today's live show, should the Giants sign JC Tretter in NFL free agency? Look, he's one of the best centers in the NFL. He's been so the past couple of years. And the Giants right now have Jon Feliciano as their starting center, who hasn't really been a starting caliber player in the NFL. I like his mentality. I like the swag. And I like the leadership he brings. but I don't know if he's ready to be a 17-game starter. And then what about a Saquon Barkley bounce-back season? Is he due? We'll break that down. And then we're going to have 2 Giants mailbags. If you want to be a part of that, go down in the comment section and use hashtag Giants. Or you can super chat. Every super chat gets up on screen, and it guarantees you a way to get on today's show. All righty. Woo. I'm going to power through. I'm going to do this for you guys. Let's ride. Petey, you ready? All righty. We're getting the 1s and 2s. My guy Petey pushing the buttons back there, making everything happen. All righty. Let's do it. Let's get into a Giants rumors mailbag right now. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and in today's show, we're going to get into a Giants rumors mailbag where I answer all of your questions, which aired on Wednesday, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, where we answer all your questions, and we only answer subscribers' questions. So if you want to be a part of the show and you want your questions to be answered, go down right now, hit that big red button. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. Yes, 10,000. It's been a long way. We're the fastest growing Giants YouTube channel out there. So join the squad. Go down right now and hit that big red button. This first question coming in from Jeremy Chuggs. Hey, Marshy, who will have the most receiving yards for the Giants this year? Jeremy Chuggs, that's a good question. And if I had to say today, I think it's going to be Kadarius Toney. And that's kind of might be a little bit of a surprise to some people, because on this show, I've been a little bit critical, and I think fairly, of Kadarius Toney for him not showing up to voluntary minicamp or to voluntary workouts. But he was there at voluntary OTAs. And according to Brian Dable and Mike Kafka, he's been a wonder. He's been a wonder to work with. He's been great to be around. He's digesting the playbook, and he's doing everything right on and off the field. There's no doubt about it that Kadarius Toney has everything you need to be successful at the wide receiver spot in the NFL. If you just go back and look at what he did against the Dallas Cowboys last year when Mike Glennon was under center, where he had 10 catches for about 190 yards, Kadarius Toney is a special football player. When he has the ball in his hands and he has space to work, more times than not, he's going to make that first defensive back miss when it comes to trying to get him on the ground. Toney is going to be electric in this new offense run by Brian Dable and Mike Kafka. The Giants are going to run a lot of spread personnel where they have 4 receivers on the field and no running backs in the backfield. They're going to be run a lot of empty sets, and I think Kadarius Toney is really going to benefit from that a lot. More passes equals more targets and catches for Toney, so pencil me in for Toney for leading the Giants in receiving yards this year. Jay Sports Cards, what up? What's the word on how Evan Neal is looking? From what I've seen and from what I've read, Evan Neal is already looking like a seasoned pro at OTAs. And that's what you expect when you take an offensive lineman inside the top 10 and you kind of come out of Alabama, which is the closest thing you're going to get to an NFL practice or an NFL type franchise or team or organization. Evan Neal is going to be a great football player for the Giants for the next 10 to 15 years. And the thing I love about him the most is even though we played left tackle at Bama last year, 2 years ago, he played right tackle. So he has those reps. He knows the mechanics to play right tackle. He's been through the situations. He knows how to excel over there. And the fact he's already looking good and him and Andrew Thomas are already kind of forming a relationship and they seem to be getting along with each other, that's a good thing. Evan Neal's looked good and he's going to look good on Sundays for sure. Andre the Giant. Marcus Peters is going to be a free agent next year. Should we sign him? All right, we're talking 2023 free agency. I love Marcus Peters. He's the type of corner I want on my football team. He's aggressive. He likes to take chances. And when the ball's in the air, he goes and makes a play on it like a receiver. If you look at what he's done the prior 5 seasons, last year he didn't play because of a torn ACL. But in 2020 to 2017, he was one of the best corners in the NFL. In his NFL career, he has like 30-plus interceptions. He's a risk taker. He knows the Wink Martindale defense. He likes to play that press man cover corner, and he likes to bait quarterbacks into making throws that are risky. And he's a game-changing corner that when the ball is in the air, he can take it the other way. I like Marcus Peters a lot. It does concern me, though, that he's coming off an ACL and he's already north of 30. But if you can get him in free agency next year where the Giants are going to have some of the most cap space in the NFL, I'd be down to go and sign Marcus Peters because of how weak this secondary room is. So he's definitely going to be on my radar, and I'm sure he's going to be on the Giants' radar. But I want you to take the seat of Joe Schoen right now. Should the Giants sign Marcus Peters next year? I know we're looking forward and a lot can change, but I want you to weigh in right now on how you feel today in May. Type S for sign, or you can go down in the comment section and type P for pass. And look, if the Giants make a move, whether it's sign, JC Tretter or anybody throughout the rest of this NFL offseason, we're going to be breaking it down on this channel, youtube.com/NYGiantsTV. We just crossed over 9,000 subscribers. I want to thank everybody that has gone down and hit that big red button. But look, we like to keep things moving, and the next milestone is the one we're going after, and we're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. So go down right now, hit that big red button. Free daily Giants videos every single day. I promise you won't regret it. Wolf Z, my guy, what up? Who wins the left guard spot? Lemieux, Ezeudu, or Garcia? I'd like for it to be Josh Ezeudu, considering the fact that he was a top 100 pick for the Giants in the NFL draft. I think that would be the best case scenario for the rebuilding of a team. Anytime you can get a rookie on the field early as possible and he can contribute, that's best case scenario. But if I had to rub my crystal ball today and be a genie, I think it'd be Shane Lemieux. He's been the starting guard so far through Giants OTAs, battling back from that patella injury he suffered early in 2021. I like the nastiness that Shane Lemieux plays with. He's not the most talented or the most skilled or most refined interior offensive lineman, but he's nasty. He's a good run blocker. He was a captain at Oregon. He's someone that can contribute, and I like the tenacity he plays with. So if I had to predict it today, Wolfsy, I think it'd be Shane Lemieux to start the season, but I would not be surprised if Joshua Ezeudu comes in week 4, week 5, or later on in the season and takes over that spot. Appreciate the question, Wolfsy. Ryan234, what up, man? What do you think of Daniel Bellinger? Heard he has been playing well at OTAs. Yes, he's been looking really good. This past week at OTAs, him and Ricky Seals-Jones have been splitting reps with the first offense. And that's a big step for a tight end that was selected in the 4th round of the 2022 NFL draft, and especially for a tight end that really wasn't a focal point of the receiving game last year in college. Only 31 grabs, 357 yards, 11.5 yards per catch, and 2 touchdowns. But this is someone that had one of the best contested catch rates in college football last year. He's got strong hands. He can go up with a DB on him or a linebacker on him and go up and pluck the ball out of thin air. A little blast from the past. He kind of reminds me of Kevin Boss, someone that you're going to kind of sleep on. You don't think he's really all that athletic. You don't think he can go up and catch it and, get off the ground and show a vertical, but he can do that. I like Daniel Bellinger a lot, and I would not be surprised by at the end of the season in 2022, he's the starting full-time Giants tight end, and he cements himself as the starting tight end for the Giants for the future. Bellinger has all the tools you want in a tight end. He can block, he can catch, he can push the seam, and he's a hard worker. I like him a lot, and I've been very impressed with what I've seen in Giants OTAs. But I want to leave this question up to you guys. Who do you think has more touchdowns in 2022? Do you think it'll be Ricky Seals-Jones, the player that the Giants sign in free agency on the 1-year veteran minimum deal, or will it be Daniel Bellinger? Type RS for Ricky Seals-Jones or DB for Daniel Bellinger. I also want to ask you guys to show us some love over on Rumble. We're at 1.9 thousand followers over there, and I want to get to 2K on today's video. Rumble.com/NYGiantsTV. It's a very similar app to YouTube. We're now posting our Giants content over there, free, uncensored content. They've also got other sports content, news, politics, tech. And look, we're just growing to platforms that you guys use. One of my favorite features over on Rumble is you can let the audio of the video play. While the video, you're not actually watching it. You can close out of the app, or while the video is playing, you can go respond to a text message or go check out some tweets over on Twitter, and the audio will continue to roll. So show us some love. Give us a follow over there. Rumble.com/NYGiantsTV. Nikki, what up? How bad does Jones have to play before Taylor replaces him? This is a good question, and one we've talked about a couple times on the show, and I'm sure a lot of Giants fans are curious about it. I think Tyrod Taylor, for him to go and play, Daniel Jones is going to have to be really bad. Because it sounds like Joe Schoen, Brian Daboll, and Mike Kafka are all in on supporting Daniel Jones. They're going to give him every opportunity to show that he can be the franchise quarterback for the New York Football Giants. They've talked about how they want Daniel Jones to cut it loose. They want him to be aggressive. They want him to be a gunslinger. They want him to get out of the mold that he was under Jason Garrett with the Giants the past 2 years, where he was conservative, where he took the first read, where he checked it down, where he took the sack instead of trying to improvise and make a play. That's not going to be the case with the Giants under Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka. Daniel Jones is going to be a gunslinger, and for him to be subbed out for Tyrod Taylor, he's going to have to play really bad. Look, if the Giants start out 0-5 or 0-6, and Daniel Jones is the sole reason that the Giants aren't winning football games, and he is hindering the performance and success of the Giants, then maybe we could see Tyrod Taylor take the place of DJ. Last question in this mailbag. Say my name. Do you think Quincy Roche is being slept on? I do. I think we're forgetting how good of a football player Quincy Roche was down the home stretch of the 2021 NFL season. There was a stretch of games last year where Roche in like 5 games had 14 QB pressures, a couple of sacks, and played really well. When you look at his stats for the entire season, they don't pop off the screen. Only 2.5 sacks, 14 pressures, 24 tackles, 1 forced fumble. But when he was in the game and he had an opportunity to contribute as a pass rusher, this is someone that showed life and showed the ability to get after and display the type of moves that he had. He was a 7th-round pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2021. He was released. Giants picked him up on waivers. A good move by Dave Gettleman. Hats off. I'll give him credit where credit is due. I like what Quincy Roche can do as a player. I like the traits that he possesses. But when you look at the front 7 room of the New York Giants and the pass rushers that they have in Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari, and you also got Leonard Williams, the next guy is Quincy Roche. Because I don't think Ellerson Smith is ready just yet. He was a 4th-round pick last year, but he was always somewhat of a project type of player. I like Roche a lot, and I think he's going to have a chance to be that 3rd edge rusher on this team. I honestly don't even think O'Shane Ximines is going to make the roster. So I think Roche is going to have a chance to prove a lot of people wrong, let the people continue to sleep on him, and show that he can be a serviceable edge rusher in the NFL. Speaking of people that are being slept on, though, we talked about Quincy Roche. He's a guy that I think is being slept on by Giants fans and people are forgetting about because he did flash as a rookie a little bit. I want you to name a player that you think is being slept on the Giants. I'm curious where all you stand on this. So sound off in the comments, Giants fans. Name a player you think that is being slept on the Giants roster. Keep getting your votes in the comments section right now. I'm going to get a sip of water real quick. Whew, that was tough. That was tough. My YouTube dashboard's like not uploading or updating. It's weird. All right, there we go. I thought we only had 15 people watching still. That was weird. All right, Giants fans, let me know. Jerron Williams from Wolf Z. I liked what I saw from him at the end of last year. Came in a role that he had to produce, and he did so. Wasn't great. Was solid, though, and as a rookie, that's kind of what you expect, especially out of someone that only really played because of injury. He started to showcase his talents at the end of last season. I could see him having a big year. Wagner says Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is a good football player. He's in the last year of his deal, or his 5th-year option was just picked up. So if he plays good this year, I could see him holding out to get a contract extension. Bernard says Adoree Jackson. So does Mike. A-List says Julian Love. The Twisted Viking says Darius Slayton. No, I was just going through the comments section, seeing if anybody else had chimed in. Ben says, I feel like Wan'Dale Robinson will be very slept on in the beginning of the season. Connor Quitkin says Tuck. I don't know who you're talking about. Justin Tuck? I don't know. Give me a follow on Twitter, @MarshallGreen_. I'm trying to get to 13.5 thousand followers on today's show. Everybody that gives me a follow, I'll give you a follow back, and then at the end of the show, I'll give you a shout-out at the end as I go over there and check on Twitter and see what's going on over there. Everybody that gives me a follow, I'll make sure to give you a follow back. Juan, what up, bro? He says, my sleeper is Daniel Jones. Connor says, yeah, click live, Connor. Yeah, catch up. But glad you're tuned in, Connor. What's up, man? All righty, let's get into the latest Giants news and rumors on Saquon Barkley and JC Tretter right now. You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and in today's show, we're going to break down the latest rumors surrounding the New York Football Giants. Will Saquon Barkley have a bounce-back season with running behind the best offensive line he has so far throughout his NFL career? But first, should the Giants go out and sign JC Tretter? A lot of Giants media have gone out and talked about Tretter as a potential piece for the Giants to go out and sign. He was most recently mentioned by Bleacher Report as a potential fit, and it makes sense considering Jon Feliciano is the current starting center for the Giants, who really hasn't been a starting caliber player in the NFL throughout his career. I like the nastiness that Feliciano plays with. I like the leadership he's shown. Bobby Johnson has referred to him as a dirtbag throughout the beginning portions of Giants OTAs because of the nastiness he plays with. But when you look at what JC Tretter is and the type of player he is, last year he was graded as the 6th best center in the NFL. The center is a slept-on position, in my opinion. It's one of the most important positions on the offensive line. It's the leader. You got to call out all the checks. You have to set the pass protections, and you have to communicate to everybody on the offensive line. And JC Tretter is one of the best in the business. When you look at the last 4 seasons, where he ranks as a pass blocker, in 2021, second. The prior year, second. 2019, second. And then 2018, third. JC Tretter is one of the best centers in the NFL. And anytime you can upgrade at a position, you have to look at it as a possibility and something you want to do as a football team. And the fact he's still a free agent tells me that his market has dried up a little bit, and there's not a lot of teams out there willing to pay a lot of money to go out and get JC Tretter. Last year gave up just 1 sack, 1 QB hit, 8 QB hurries, a PFF run grade of 74.8. He's a better pass blocker than run blocker, but if you plug him into this offensive line with Andrew Thomas, Evan Neal, Mark Lewinsky, and if you added JC Tretter, that would be 4 elite offensive linemen on this offensive line. That would be the best Giants offensive line since the 2011-2012 Super Bowl run. When your offensive line is better, your quarterback's going to be better. Your running backs are going to be better. Your tight ends are going to be better. Your receivers are going to be better. It's time for the Giants to start investing in their investments. Invest in Daniel Jones. Invest in Saquon Barkley. They did that by drafting Evan Neal. Now it's time, in my opinion, to go out and sign JC Tretter. I like Jon Feliciano a lot. I think he can compete to be your starting left guard. He played guard in Buffalo. I know he wants to play center with the New York Giants, but if you go out and get a better player, JC Tretter, on a 1-year deal worth $3 million or so, the Giants can afford that, and it would make them a better football team. So I want to leave the question up to you guys. If you were Joe Shane and you were sitting in your seat and JC Tretter's agent let you know, hey, JC wants to come and play for the New York Giants, you guys should sign him. Let me know what you do. Or who would you want to be the starting center for the Giants? Type JC for JC Tretter or JF for Jon Feliciano. If the Giants go out and sign JC Tretter, I promise you we will be the first channel on YouTube with a video out breaking down the move surrounding the New York Football Giants. So turn your notifications on, hit the bell icon right underneath me, turn your notifications to all so you get notified anytime we put a video out here on Giants Now by Chat Sports, because you're not going to want to miss it. And look, we're going to be putting out videos every single day until week 1 of the NFL season. And look, that's not going to stop then either. Videos every single day around the latest Giants news and rumors. Go hit that big red button. Help us get to 10,000 subscribers. And make sure you're subscribed and follow us over on Rumble, which is a very similar app to YouTube. It's where content creators like us post content. And Giants Now by Chat Sports is now posting their content over there. It's free, it's uncensored, it's a little bit more edgy. There's also news, politics, tech. And look, as Giants Now grows and we continue to gain more subscribers, we're going to grow to platforms that you guys use. So give us a follow, rumble.com/NYGiantsTV. Story number 2 on today's show. Is Saquon Barkley set to have a bounce-back season in year 5 for the New York Football Giants? He better, or most likely this will be his last season with Big Blue. Bleacher Report listed Barkley as a dark horse to lead the NFL in rushing touchdowns for the 2022 NFL season. If Saquon Barkley led the NFL in rushing touchdowns, I think everybody watching this video and watching this channel and fans of the New York Giants would be very, very happy. Look, this is going to be the best offensive line Saquon Barkley has had in his NFL career, and that matters a lot. It really does. Look, I know it's obvious. Better offensive line, the easier it is for a running back. Running back is a dependent position, and when your offensive line is creating holes for you to run through that are bigger and there's more space, you're going to be able to be a better running back, more yards per carry, more tackles that are broken past the line of scrimmage. And the fact that it's year 2, after the ACL injury, he's stronger, he's quicker, and he's had a full offseason now to rehab that leg, get back in the building. And in this new offense, I think Saquon Barkley could have a bounce-back season and maybe his best season yet in the NFL. This is what Bleacher Report had to say about Barkley in the article where they said he could be the dark horse to have the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL. They said these rookie additions by the Giants, coupled with a pair of key free agency pickups in Jon Feliciano and Mark Lewinsky, should have Big Blue's line in better shape than it has been in years. If Barkley returns to form, he'll find plenty of pay dirt behind it. Barkley and pay dirt is a good sign for the New York Giants. Look, Barkley is one of the most talented, skilled, and special running backs in the NFL. We all know that as Giants fans. He possesses a rare set of skills. He's very quick. He's very strong. His top-end speed is fast or just as fast as every single running back in the NFL. What he did in his rookie season was just amazing. 261 carries, just north of 1,300 yards, 5 yards per pop, and 11 touchdowns to go with 91 receptions. Then his sophomore season in 2019, in 13 games, he played really well as well. 1,000 yards, 4.6 yards per top pop, and then 6 touchdowns. And then the injuries started to pile on. And they piled on very strongly. In 2020, he tore his ACL. And then in 2021, he started to look really good. And then he had the ankle injury against the Dallas Cowboys where he stepped on the defender's DB's foot, and it kind of just took him out of the game. He's never really bounced back from that. But I did like what I saw prior to that game, and that led me to believe that Saquon Barkley can be great again. But what about this question? 10 rushing touchdowns for Saquon Barkley. Over or under? Let me know what you think about this, Giants fans. Can Saquon Barkley do or score more than 10 touchdowns on the ground this season? I think that's a solid benchmark for him. I think if he got to 10, it would be a successful season, and the Giants would be inclined to re-sign him. But I want to hear from you in the comments section. Go down and let me know. Type O for over if you think he's going to have more than 10 touchdowns. Or you can go down in the comments section if you think 10's too much and you don't think the Giants are going to run the ball enough for him to do that. You can go down in the comments section and type U for under. Whether it's through the air or on the ground, Saquon Barkley and the Brian Daboll, Mike Kafka, and the 2022 Giants offense is going to flourish. And it may be in a different role than you're used to. We've heard that Brian Daboll talk about it through the offseason, that Saquon Barkley is going to be used more as a receiving threat. And they're going to get back to what he was great at his rookie season, where he had 91 receptions, 721 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Was that in large part to do with check down Eli Manning late in his career, just being scared and just dumping it in the flat to Saquon Barkley? Sure. But when has it been a bad idea to get your playmakers the ball in space? That's what Saquon is. He's a playmaker. And what you want to do as an offensive coordinator is get those guys the ball in space. I want to see Saquon be used more as a receiving threat. We saw it against the Saints. He had that long touchdown. He had another game this year where he had a receiving touchdown lined up as a wide receiver. He's a functional piece. He's a chess piece on offense. I don't care if he has 15 rushing attempts in a game and 6 pass attempts. He should have 20 touches a game in general, whether that's 12 rushes and 8 catches. Just get him the ball in space, whether that's more receptions or more rushes, whatever it has to be. Get Saquon Barkley the ball more, because the more he has the ball, the more likely he is to break one off and head to the house for 6. But look, one thing I love about Saquon Barkley is he's the ultimate team player. He never says anything bad. He's always at voluntary workouts. He's always at voluntary mini camps. He's always at voluntary OTAs. And for that, I applaud Saquon Barkley. He does everything he can to make sure that he's on the field on Sundays and put the Giants' best foot forward and his best foot forward. So let's show him some love. Because look, if Saquon has a good year, that means the Giants are going to be better. So type 26 in the comments section to show Saquon Barkley some love. He gets some bad hate for the fact that Dave Gettleman may have reached for him in the 2018 draft with the second pick, but that's in the past. It's time for this fan base to embrace him. So show some love to Saquon Barkley and type number 26 in the comments section. Alrighty, I'll give some shout-outs to everybody in the comments section typing 26. Look, I love Saquon. Look, the fact that he does everything right. He doesn't do anything wrong. He's always in the building. He never misses a practice. He's always there. I love the guy. I want him to be great. And we got a super chat from my guy Tutu. What's going on, bro? He says, I would love to play for Coach Wink any day. I love his stubbornness and aggressiveness in his schemes. I believe I'm the missing piece from his mass destruction playbook to get the job done. Tutu, I believe it. I could see you as an off-ball backer coming off the edge, blitzing the quarterback. You, Kayvon Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari, Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence. That would be one mean front seven for the New York Giants. Tutu, you're a real one. You know that. I appreciate you always tuning in. And you've been the Super Chat MVP once again on today's show. Tutu, I appreciate your donations, my guy. Also, give me a follow on Twitter's at @MarshallGreen_. I'm trying to get to 1,350 followers on Twitter. Give me a follow over there at @MarshallGreen_. I'll make sure to get everybody a follow back, and I'll give you a shout out at the end of the show. Let me sip this water real quick. Got some weirdo in the chat. Isaac Petey said, I put you on body armor. That's just cap. That kid's cap. All right, we got another mailbag coming up. If you didn't get a chance to get your question in on the first mailbag, go down in the comments section, use hashtag Giants or Super Chat. Everybody that Super Chats gets in on the show. And if you use hashtag Giants, you are upping your chances to get on the show. We're taking all your questions, and we'll be answering those for about the next 10-ish, 12-ish minutes or so. You can be like Whoville Cash, who just asked, how much sack do you think Kayvon will have? Well, hopefully he's only got 1 sack, but I hope he gets 10 sacks this year. But we'll break that down in a second, Whoville. Sorry for the coughs. I've been sick the last couple of days, but hey, powering through. Tom Coughlin, I got him in my ear. You can do it. Let's ride, though. Giants mailbag right now. What's going on, Giants fans? You're watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. And in today's show, we're going through a mailbag which first aired on our live show on Wednesday, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Every single week, join the party. Hit that big red button. Make sure you're there because, look, we're only taking questions from our subscribers. So go down right now, hit that big red button, and help us get to 10,000 subscribers. This first one rolling in from Sean. Who would you rather have calling offensive plays, Mike Kafka or Brian Dable? This is a great question. I appreciate you, Sean. Through OTAs, Mike Kafka has been the one calling the plays. But if I had to choose who I wanted to be the offensive coordinator for the Giants in 2022, I would want it to be Brian Dable because he got the job as the Giants offensive coordinator for what he did as an offensive coordinator with the Buffalo Bills, for how he was able to get the most out of a guy like Josh Allen, how he was able to make that Buffalo Bills offense one of the best, if not the best, in the NFL. I want someone that's experienced, that's been there in the big games of the AFC Conference Championship, in overtime, and the last drive of the game, having to go out down and score. Brian Dable has done that. Not saying Mike Kafka can't. He can, I believe. He's learned from Andy Reid, one of the best offensive coaches in NFL history. But I want someone that's been in the fire when the bullets are flying. So give me Dable, but I do think Kafka's going to be a damn good offensive coordinator if he ends up calling the plays for the Giants. Ricky Ricardo, what's going on, fam? Who had the most sacks in Wink's defense? That's a great question, and I think someone else also asked a very similar question. So I'm glad we got to answer that. Whoville Cash asked a similar question. Who will have the most sacks in Wink's defense? I think it's going to be Kayvon Thibodeau in his rookie year. I really do. And right behind him, I think it's going to be Azeez Ojulari. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ojulari is the guy that ends up leading the Giants in sacks this year. He had 8 sacks last year as a rookie. Shoot, it could be Leonard Williams. The thing that's awesome about Martinsdale's defense is he's going to scheme up open blitzes and free rushes and sacks. You're not going to have to beat your guy every single time to get a sack. You're going to be able to come off the line, come untouched, and it's like, oh shit, I'm in the backfield untouched and I get a sack. Sometimes it's going to be that easy. Is it going to result in the Giants getting burnt sometimes because they bring too many in blitz and too many rushers in blitz situations? Sure. But the thing I love about Wink Martindale is he's going to make the offense adjust to the defense. He's not going to sit back on his hands and have to adjust and, call the plays based on what the offense is doing. No, he's going to set the tone. He's going to dictate the pace, and I love that about him. Whether it's Ojulari, Williams, or Thibodeau, I think one of them is going to go for double-digit sacks. Give me Thibodeau, though. I appreciate the question, bro. Don't Stop 10. Did you see the stat projections for Daniel Jones from Bleacher Report? Yikes. Yeah, that was something, right? I mean, that was some of the most disrespectful stuff I've ever seen. And not because I think Daniel Jones is going to be some Hall of Famer or anything like that, but the fact that they had Daniel Jones only throwing 14 touchdowns in this season, I think that's kind of an indictment on Brian Dable. If you're telling me that Dable can only scheme up 14 touchdowns for Daniel Jones and the 2022 NFL season, that tells me that you don't think he's that good of a football coach. Look, I don't think these stats are even that close. I mean, the completion percentage might be close. I think he's going to throw for more yards. I think he goes for at least 20 touchdowns. I like Daniel Jones as a player. I don't love him. He hasn't really given me any reason to love him. But the reason I still believe that he can be a solid quarterback in the NFL is from what I saw in his rookie year when Pat Shurmur was the head coach and his offensive coordinator. 24 touchdowns and 12 interceptions in 12 games. If he never did that, I wouldn't have any reason or anything to stand on to believe that he could be a good football player. But I've seen him do it before. So that's why I'm going to ride with Daniel Jones this year. And I'm going to say over 14 passing touchdowns for Daniel Jones. But I want you to weigh in the comment section right now, Giants fans, and let me know. Or a little game over and under. 14. We'll set the bar at 14. Will we throw for more touchdowns or less touchdowns? Type O for under, or you can go down in the comment section and type U for under. Also, I want to ask you guys to go down right now and hit that big red button. Because look, free videos every day throughout the NFL offseason. When June and July come rolling around and there's not a lot of stuff out there and all these Giants YouTube pages aren't posting content anymore, we still will be here, Giants Now by Chat Sports videos every single day. And look, it's 100% free, and we're probably the most interactive Giants YouTube channel out there. That's what we pride ourselves on. So go down right now, hit that big red button, help us get to 10,000 subscribers. Ben, what up, bro? Do you think we should sign Xavier Rhodes or Anthony Barr to a vet contract? Look, if either of those guys want to come over and sign one-year deals for veteran minimum deals, I'd love to have them both on the Giants. They're not as good of football players as they once were, but they are still solid, and they would come at positions of need for the Giants. The Giants could use another veteran backer like Anthony Barr. They also could use another veteran corner, like Xavier Rhodes. I like what Xavier Rhodes did this past season for the Indianapolis Colts. 2 seasons ago, he wasn't that good. The year before that with the Vikings, he was really bad, but he kind of bounced back this year with the Colts. I liked what I saw. So I'd like to see him in this defense. I think Anthony Barr, kind of how he can play multiple positions in college. He was an edge rusher, then he transitioned to off-ball backer in the NFL. Could kind of be like kind of a hybrid role with the Giants and a Wink Martindale defense. So I'd like to see both those guys. If they can come out and get both of them, sure. But the only way that's going to happen is if they sign veteran minimum deals. Appreciate it, though, Ben. Mike, my guy. Besides this, Mike, is this super chat from Mike? What's up, Mike? We got some super thanks to get from you. We'll give you a shout out in a second, Mike. What up, bro? Besides the rookies, who on the defensive side would you expect to have a Pro Bowl type year? Go Big Blue, F the Cowgirls, and F the guy talking about the Titans. All right, besides the rookies, who on the defensive would you expect to have a Pro Bowl? What about Xavier McKinney? Is this the year that Xavier McKinney comes out and shows that he can be one of the best safeties in the NFL? I loved what I saw from McKinney last year. But in the defense this year, with a couple more dudes, a couple more studs, and more of a diverse scheme where I think it's going to unlock the skills that Xavier McKinney has, I think he could really take a step forward this year. He could play that single high. But we also know McKinney, he likes to hit. He's a physical player. He can come down inside the box, play that box safety. He's a do-it-all safety. If I had to bet on any player on the Giants to come out and have a good year, a better year than expected, give me Xavier McKinney. Appreciate it, Mike. Corey, should the Giants sign Ndamukong Suh? Woo! Yeah, I mean, shit. Does he want to come play for a one-year veteran minimum deal? Because that's what the Giants have been giving out all offseason long. The thing I will give Ndamukong Suh credit for is how dependable of a player he is, considering the fact that he's 36 years old. Suh has started in 191 of the 193 possible games in his NFL career. He's dependable, and the dude's a freaking menace, man. He's not someone that you want to block. He'd be a good piece on this team. Anytime you can add someone on the interior defensive line that carries the type of just swag and, toughness and mentality that he brings, I'm down to add that to my football team. Could you imagine a three-man defensive front of Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, and Ndamukong Suh with the outside linebackers of Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari? That would be one of the best front fives on the defensive side of the football in the NFL. But it all comes down to dollars. Does Ndamukong Suh want to come and play for a one-year veteran minimum type deal? Maybe lace it with incentives. So if he plays all the games, or if he reaches certain milestones with some stats, he would get more money, then yes, I'd love to see him come play and wear Giants blue. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, and I'd love to see it for the Giants because he would make the Giants better now. And he could also mentor some guys on this team, like Azeez Ojulari, like Dexter Lawrence, like Kayvon Thibodeau. I think it'd be a win-win if you went and signed Suh, but at the end of the day, it comes down to him and how much he wants to get paid. And I have a feeling it's a little bit more than the 1 year, $1.2 or $2 million that the Giants could offer him. But I'll leave it up to you, Giants fans. Type S for sign, type P for pass. I also want to tell you guys about a new feature on YouTube called Super Thanks. If you're not able to join live shows, I understand. They're in the middle of the day sometimes, and some people work. I know it's crazy. But look, you can also support outside of just super chatting on live shows, and you can do that by super thanking. It's the heart icon with the money sign in the middle, right underneath me. You can click on it, send a donation, and you could type in a message. And every super thanks, we're going to put it up on screen and give them a shout out on screen. Just like my guy John, Olson, Michael, and Mike. Mike, who just super chatted a couple of seconds ago, sent in 2 super thanks a couple of shows ago. And I love this one so much. He said, I think because I asked, who do you think is going to win the NFC East? And he said, I think the Cowgirls win the division, unfortunately. But F them girls, go Big Blue, fire sign, prayers, and hearts. That's right, Mike. Go Big Blue. I like that. So if you hate the Dallas Cowboys like I do, like Mike does, go down in the comments section and just type F Dallas for me. Mike, I appreciate the super chat, and I appreciate the 2 super thanks earlier this week. Last question. Big Who, do you think they will be the dark horse in our division? do you think they will be? Are you asking they as in the Giants? Yeah, if a sleeper team were to win the NFC East, I do think it was us. The Eagles right now are getting a lot of buzz. After they picked up James Bradbury and A.J. Brown and the good moves they made in the draft by selecting Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean, the Eagles are the sexy pick right now to win the NFC East. And a lot of people like the Cowboys as well because they have Dakota Prescott, the best quarterback in the division, blah, blah, blah. But look, if there was a dark horse to win the NFC East, I think it's the Giants over the football team. I think we're a better football team from 1 to 53, no doubt about it. So if I had to say yes, Big Who, I for sure think the Giants, if there were to be a dark horse to win it, it'd be us. Like my guy Mike said in his super thanks, he said he hates the Cowboys, F them girls, but I'll leave it up to you Giants fans. I want you to spam the comment section. Type F Dallas if you hate the Cowboys, and I'll see you next time on the next New York Giants Now. I'll give some shout-outs here in a sec. Mike, bro, you're a real one. I appreciate you. Oh, shit. That was rough, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, we're some of these are getting blocked. I'll try to get them through. You just can't put the UCK after F, if you know what I'm saying. Daniel says this show is never long enough. Yeah, if I was, we can work on that. Let me get a little bit more healthy, and we may be able to add another segment to these shows. But I appreciate the support, man. It really goes a long way. All right, I'm going to see you gave me a follow over on Twitter during today's show. Everybody that does, I'll give you a follow back. We got Mo Riggins. What up, bro? Just gave you a shout out. Gave you a follow back. Mo Riggins, my guy. All righty. No other followers. I guess no one else wants to give me a follow over on Twitter. Big Who, appreciate your question. No loot, Petey. All righty. That's going to do it for us today on Giants Now. I appreciate everybody that's joined in, made it a part of your today. You're a real one, and we'll see you on the next New York Giants Now.